This is the second of a three-part video series reviewing Coastal Community Foundation's Regional Cycle application. In the first video, we went over the Introduction tab, the program selection, organizational information, and frequently asked questions. In those tabs, you gave us some general information about your organization as a whole. In this section, we're going to look at the Northern Lowcountry Proposals tab as well as the Southern Lowcountry Proposals tabs. On those two tabs, you're going to give us more information about the specific project that you'd like to receive funding. I'm going to start by looking at the Southern Lowcountry Proposals tab. We currently have one program that's funding in the Southern Lowcountry in this regional cycle. That would be our Beaufort Fund. Beaufort Fund funds in Hampton County, Beaufort County, Jasper, and Collin counties. If you are applying for funding from the Beaufort Fund, you'll select Yes here, and it'll populate some other additional questions to give us some more information about your proposal. If you are not applying for funding from the Beaufort Fund, you'll select No, and that's all you'll need to do on this tab. If you're requesting funding from the Beaufort Fund, you'll first tell us how much you're requesting. Just as on the Program Selection tab, this will not allow you to enter more than the maximum allowed for this fund. If you need a refresher on that amount, you can use this little question mark. It will tell you what the maximum is for that fund. If you do enter more than that amount, it will not allow you to continue. You'll then let us know whether you're requesting general operating support, specific program support, or funding for purchase of equipment or property. You should only be selecting one of these three options. If it is for a specific program, we also ask for the name of that program. The next section is asking where your work is focused in regards to this specific proposal. This is just to give us an idea of whether this is the primary area that this program is focused in or whether it's one of multiple. So let us know what percentage is focused in Beaufort, Hampton, Colleton, or Jasper County. These are all required fields. If this program does not apply to a certain county, you can just enter a 0 for that amount. You'll next tell us the total cost of your program and project if applicable. You do not need to fill out this field if you're requesting general operating support, because we'll then assume that the total cost of the program would be your annual budget. If you enter an amount that is smaller than the amount that you've requested, you'll notice that this difference amount here is negative. That'll be a hint that you need to go back and check on those amounts so that you're requesting an amount that is within the total cost. If you enter a total cost that is larger than your requested amount, it'll let you know how much will still be pending should you receive this grant. So we then ask what main sources would make up the difference for that amount. It will tell you how many characters are left. Each of the next three fields have a maximum character limit, and as you type, it will let you know how many are remaining. The next question is a summary of your proposal. Please include in that summary a description of your impact as well as the number of people who will directly benefit from this funding request. This is probably the most important field on the application. The committee members will be looking very heavily at this project summary, so do make sure that you're including all of the information that's requested. The next question is asking how you'll know that you're successful. So what we're really asking with that question is how you measure success within your organization. The final question on this tab is whether you received a grant from this program last year. If you did, we'll ask how much you received and then just ask you to explain in a few sentences or a list how you spent or are planning to spend those dollars before the end of the grant period. Once you have finished that tab, I'll remind you again, just make sure you're saving frequently. We don't want you to lose any information that you've already entered. We'll now go back to the Northern Lowcountry Proposals tab. We have several programs included in the regional cycle that fund the Northern Lowcountry, defined as Berkeley County, Charleston County, Dorchester County, as well as any arts organizations in Georgetown County. So this tab is going to be include a little bit more information. You'll notice that each section of the page applies to a specific program. So this first section will be for your open grants proposal, then it'll move on to your Giving Back to Berkeley County Fund proposal, Home Community Fund, or Dorchester Community Fund. You do have the option to fill out one proposal and apply that same proposal to each fund, but we also wanted to give you the opportunity to apply for different programs depending on which program you're applying to. So we'll start at the top here. If you're requesting funding from open grants, you'll again just hit yes. Please do make sure that the amount you're requesting matches the field that you entered on the Program Selection tab. The rest of these fields are very similar to the Southern Lowcountry tab. You're essentially just filling out that information for this specific proposal. So you'll enter which type of support you're requesting, the percentage of your work that's focused in Berkeley, Charleston, Dorchester, or Georgetown County, as Open Grant serves those 4 counties. You'll let us know the total cost, explain any difference in the amount, and give us your project summary, how you'll know you're successful, and any information about last year's grant. The next 3 are where you're going to have the option to copy your proposal from the Open Grants proposal. So we'll start by just letting us know if you did apply to Giving Back to Berkeley County Fund. You'll select yes, let us know how much you're requesting, and then it asks if this funding would support the same project that you've just described in your Open Grants proposal. If it is the same project, you'll just select yes, and then you'll answer the questions about whether you received a grant from that program last year or not. If it is a different proposal from the Open Grants proposal, you'll select no, and you'll see those same fields populate for this fund. These questions are identical to those you would have filled out for your Open Grants proposal. The only difference is that this program only gives funding in Berkeley County, so it will simply ask what the percentage of your work is that's focused in Berkeley County. Once you've responded to all the questions for that program, you'll move on to Home Community Fund and repeat the process. If you're requesting funding from Home Community Fund, you'll tell us how much you're requesting, and then it's going to ask if that funding will support the project that you described for either Giving Back to Berkeley County or Open Grants. If it is the same as one of those 2 programs, you'll select yes, and you'll let us know which program it is replicating. So if this is the same as your Giving Back to Berkeley County Fund proposal, you would just select that proposal. If it was the same as Open Grants, you would select Open Grants. If this is going to be for a different project, you'll simply select no and then fill out those same proposal questions. Please do make sure that if you are using the same proposal, you do still remember to answer this question about last year's program as well. We'll still need that information. Dorchester County Fund will be exactly the same as Home Community Fund, so you'll select yes. You'll let us know whether it is the same as a previous project, and then you'll respond about last year's grants. If you have any follow-up questions about these 2 proposals tabs, please do feel free to get in touch. My email is Kayla, K-A-E-L-A, at coastalcommunityfoundation.org. You can also feel free to give any of the CCF staff a call. Our number is area code 843-723-3635.